welcome back to my YouTube channel. Definitely go ahead and like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe if you vibe with my energy, if you resonate with my messaging, and if you like what you see. So today I want to get into when I realized that I am the black sheep of my family. So back in 2021, 2022, my life started falling apart because I started manifesting, and I was pushed to take the leap of faith and move in with my mom. And when I moved in with my mom, I got in closer proximity to my family, right? I got to spend more time around them. I got to be in their energy more at the level I was at, right? Because I had started healing back in 2020. So when you're healing, your energy kind of becomes more sensitive, it becomes more enlightened, it becomes more strengthened, it becomes more vulnerable and susceptible to energy. Now I'm already empathic, so I already feel things like a sponge. But at this point, you know, my awareness was rising, my energy was rising, I was healing, having realizations, and so I was kind of in this space of observing things from a different perspective, feeling things from a different perspective, and even seeing things from a different perspective energetically, like a deeper perspective, and like understanding what it was that I was perceiving, what I was reading energetically. And so in 2021, 2022, I moved back in with my mom, and as I got in closer proximity to my family and I started making my own decisions, you know, I quit my job, I had to move in with my mom, and when I quit my job, another job came in. My mom had gotten laid off, so like everything ended up working out for me, like to the point where I could buy concert floor seat tickets like that. I could spend money on a $200 rug cover like that. Like when I quit my job, I had savings, things were working out for me, and so I started just making my own decisions, doing my own thing. And I could feel this like disdain, this envy energy from my family members. I could feel this judgment and jealousy about me making my own decisions and making decisions that I want to make versus consulting them or working with them or giving them the microphone to guide me or control my decisions. And so when I started making my own decisions, I could feel that like there was like this like nose up energy. Like I wasn't really supported in making my own decisions. I wasn't really supported in being my own person. I started to feel it first with my mom because I live with my mom. So, you know, I would have conversations with her, but after every conversation, it's like the same things kept happening. She kept undermining me. She kept pressuring me. There kept being like this fear put over my decisions, this fear put onto what I was doing and how I was doing it. And then even when it came to my work, like when I would be working on my computer or journaling or doing whatever I was doing out in the open, like they don't ask me questions, they don't inquire, they just kind of like peer around or like look, but they're not talking to me directly. They're not engaging with me directly. They're just kind of peeping and seeing, watching and lurking, but they're not interacting with me. They're not confronting me. They're not talking to me about what it is I'm doing or how I'm doing it, or, you know, whatever the case may be. So that happened in the beginning, and I just, like I said, I started feeling this like envy, jealous energy for me kind of being my own person, making my own decisions, doing my own thing, speaking my truth. You know, I started making more videos online. I started really just following my own true path. And as I was stepping into that, I could feel their reactions and responses to me becoming a different person, to me doing things differently, to me being different, and really embracing that, or just at the very least like walking on that journey. And so I was feeling that energy, and it just kept coming around, this energy of like feeling undermined, feeling like my light had been oppressed, was being oppressed, is being oppressed, it's being hidden, it's being dimmed, it's being stifled, it's being controlled. At this point, I was like kind of in denial, but like still like half of me was like denial, half of me was believing in it because I was seeing it, I was witnessing it, I was experiencing the projections, like I was really seeing it in real time. I had gotten a reading, and when I got the reading, I just asked like, what do I need to know right now? And basically the reader told me, which K Love, I love her, but she told me, she was like, you're gonna find out about a family betrayal, or like something about a family betrayal is coming out. And I was like, oh my god, so this is true. And I believe in tarot. I do tarot. I believe in tarot. So when I heard that, I was like, I knew it. Like, I already felt it, but I wanted that external confirmation, and I got it. And so when I got it, that's when I had been realizing, like, oh my god, no wonder why when I go around them, I feel like my light is dimmed. No wonder why when I say I'm doing things, they kind of belittle it or demean it or act like it doesn't exist, or they don't treat it as what it is, or they don't acknowledge me or my work or what I'm doing. No wonder why they talk to each other instead of me about me. No wonder why when people will call my mom, they're always asking her about me instead of people calling me or asking me about me. No wonder why when I was younger, even growing up, like, I gravitated more toward friends and not my family. It's like everything just started making sense, and I just started realizing more, like, wow, this is like a real thing. Like, this is my real experience. I had conversations with them, we talked about it, and basically they were just like, no, like, you're not the black sheep. My mom was like, do you want to be the black sheep? And for me, that was a red flag, because I'm like, you think I would try to manipulate a situation to be in this position for what? Attention? Like, why would anybody want to be a black sheep? Like, why would anybody want to feel othered by their family, ostracized, put down? Like, why would anybody want that? So I remember she asked me that. I had conversations with her, multiple conversations with her, and then I had conversation with my grandparents. But again, the whole general synopsis was just like, no, you're not the black sheep. They didn't really inquire about it. We didn't really talk about it. Like, they didn't really want to hear it. They just were like, no, you're not the black sheep. Kind of just like put it to the side, ignored it. Like, nope, that can't be. Life went on. But I kept with my truth. I kept going on my journey, whatever. So at a point, I got another reading. And this one was specifically about, like, tell me about my family. And when I got this reading, she basically said the same thing. You know, my family made a wrong call. They made a misjudgment. They're working in a group. They are betraying me. I see past the facade. They don't want me to. And over time, as the years have come to now, this point in present moment, I've definitely witnessed, like, spiritually, how they project energy onto me or send me evil eye or don't really want me to win, gossip about me, judge me, scapegoat me, make me like the issue for the family problems, make me the issue for why the family is separated, why we're not together. Then they gaslight it and act like, you know, I have no reason to be separate, I should just work it out, there's no real issue. And so there's a lot of red flags and dysfunctional behavior that I've witnessed along this journey of realizing that I am the black sheep and really stepping into ownership of this role. It's weird, right? Because I've not always existed in this way, but now I do. And I'm realizing the deeper connection of this role, like the deeper purpose of this role. And it really is for me to just like embrace who I am, own who I am, heal my lineage, right? This is ancestral stuff that I'm healing, that I'm looking at. When we think about generational trauma, you know, that goes back to family, that goes back to the root. And so it really is the root, my family, my childhood, where my identity, my shame-based identity has come from. And in order for me to come out of that, to heal, to become who I really am meant to be, I've had to look at that, right? I've had to go into that. A lot of what my family doesn't want to do, right? By gaslighting, by manipulating, by lying. Because if they go into that, it's like there's a lot of darkness and trauma and drama from the past, from their childhoods that like they don't want to look at. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't want to deal with. And so it's easier to just now. And it's funny because I've realized, like, even through that, right, this like negating of my existence, where it's like I'll say something and they'll be like, no, that's not true. And then it'll happen, or it'll go down what I said, and then they're like, oh. I'll say something and they're like, no. But then somebody else says the same thing and they're like, oh, okay. And so it's like, it's specifically something that happens with me. And that makes sense, right? Because I am the black sheep. I am taking on this role. I am the, in a sense, scapegoat. But at the same time, I've also been like the golden child, right? The innocent one, the good one. But once I started really doing my own thing, creating my own life, being my own person, making my own choices, then it became like, oh, okay, yeah, no. So that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. You shouldn't do that. That's not, like, just a lot of like pushing me to not do things or not be me, especially spiritually and energetically. It's more energetically than anything, because people can say, I love you for who you are, I appreciate who you are, or be who you are, we love your light. That's not true. But at the same time, it's like, well, I read energy, so like I can tell what's true, I can see what's true. And that's part of this journey, right? Coming into my intuitive gifts, coming into my intuitive abilities, coming into myself and realizing this is real, So I realized back in like 2021, 2022, and then I got 2 readings that confirmed it. And then I talked to my family, I've been around them. Now at this point, I don't really go around them, I don't really hang out around them, but sometimes I will, because I do live with my mom. But for the most part, like, I've created distance, I'm on my own journey, and it's better this way for me, because I just genuinely can't be around like the dysfunction. Like, I can't fake it, I don't want to like pretend that things are something they're not, or I'm something I'm not. And so I really just kept my distance and like continued on my own journey. But it has been hard. It has been a really painful realization and like truth that I've come into, because it's like I've not seen my family this way, I've not known my family to be this way, I've not connected to them in this way, but now I do. Now I see the truth of my family system, which is that there is a lot of darkness within my family system. There are hidden secrets, there are things that I feel like pertaining to me they don't want me to know. I remember I asked my nana, like, at one point she was like, I don't care what y'all say, I love Kiera. She said it and I picked up on it, but I just kind of ignored it. And then when I was talking to her at one point, I was like, so what did you mean by that? And she was like, oh, no, nothing, I was just talking. And it's like, it's stuff like that where it's like they just lie to me. And I've done my own readings, and the energy is like, this has been going on since a child, this is not something new. This has been happening since a child, where like they've seen my light, but like they don't really encourage it in my own way. They just kind of mold me into whatever they want me to be in order to avoid their own insecurities, inferiorities, because I am very different from my family. I do things differently, I think differently, I am different. And that's what being the black sheep is, right? In summary, is being different from your family, but being different in comparison to the generations before, where things have been rigid and structured and in line in a certain way, traditional, groupthink, codependent and meshed. When I am such a free spirit and I live in that, and I begin living in that which they never really wanted me to live in, because they kind of feed off my energy, because their darkness, my light reflects that darkness. And so I've kind of always been the glue, the peacemaker, the peacekeeper, the party, the fun, the happy, the good energy. And so it's like, in order for them to change things, they'd really have to acknowledge like how they viewed me, how they've treated me, because I am different, what they really didn't want to see. Like, they want to see me do good, but not better than them. They want to see me do good, but only if I go the way that they think I should go. It's like I only receive if I'm following the path they want me to follow. I only get this or that support and praise and encouragement if I'm doing what they think I should be doing, how they think I should be doing it. But if I'm taking my own way, doing my own thing, it's like judgment, gossip, jealousy, envy. And I understand, right? It's generational. It comes because, they didn't have the same opportunities. They made different decisions at their time in life that maybe they probably wish they made different decisions, right? They had different opportunities. But at the same time, it's like, That's not my problem. But there's been like this insistence, like lack of encouragement and motivation and like real genuine support, and there's been more gossip and watching and talking and, you know, judging of what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and who I am. But ultimately I realize like this is just pushing me more into embodying who I am, embracing who I am, and being who I am. And like I said, that's the purpose of being the black sheep, not just to heal ancestral trauma, to heal the lineage in a sense, not just to heal ourselves, but to also heal our family directly and or indirectly. They don't realize it, and we may not realize it because their responses and reactions may be so negative, spiritually especially, right? That judgment, that gossip, that envy, that otherness that they low-key do, that covertness in the way that they act around you, or the things that they say, or how they try to treat you, or the way they try to gaslight the situation, or the way they try to make you think about the situation, the way they try to, you know, manipulate things and control things. It will make you think like this isn't that and that isn't this. But the purpose is to overcome that and realize, no, like we are gifted, we are special, and this is what they never really wanted us to know, because, or acknowledge for real, right? Because again, it's insecurity, it's inferiority, it all comes back to that certain energy, this like bitterness from the previous generations that just kind of carries on until it meets us. And when it meets us, we don't accept it, we push back, and that pushes back to the entire system because it makes them reflect. And so then when they respond in these negative ways or these harsh ways, energetically, spiritually, physically, literally, it is changing and transforming them. Whether they want to acknowledge it or not, they are being challenged and things are shifting, not just within us, but also within them. And so I realized back then, and that was only the beginning, and ever since then, like nothing has changed about it. You know, it's just become more clear and more transparent and more real. And that's a key, right? When something is fake, when something isn't real, when you're confused or you're mistaken, or even you're lying to yourself, you're making things up, if you want to say, you know, it's like, it's gonna go away. You know, when you reach clarity, when you have conversations, the clarity would come and it would stay and it would be linear, right? If not linear, it wouldn't be as oppositional to that. But over the years, like it's just gotten clearer, right? Nothing's changed. I haven't been like, oh yeah, I'm wrong, or oh yeah, I'm mistaken, or oh yeah. No, if anything, like I've been affirmed that like, yeah, my family, they are haters. Yeah, they are gossiping. Yeah, they don't actually want me to win. Yeah, they see my potential. Yeah, they know I could win, but they don't want to feed that. They don't want to give to that. They don't want to acknowledge that. They don't want to acknowledge me for real. Because why? My light reflects their demons. And it's okay, right? I'm learning to be okay with it. I'm accepting it. I'm in a space of grieving, accepting, and really, like I said, just moving forward and putting that more into my purpose, because that is my purpose. That is our purpose. And so if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, definitely go ahead and like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe to my channel if you vibe with my messaging, my energy, or just me. And until next time, Wolf, speak your truth, keep being you, and understand that you know what you know, you see what you see, and you are who you are. And that's what you're meant to realize, who you are. You're not meant to fall into the dysfunction. You're not meant to go into denial. You're not meant to lie to yourself. You're not meant to be somebody different. You're not meant to be the bad person, scapegoated, blamed, shamed. No, you're meant to release all of that. You're meant to let go of all of that, transmute, alchemize all of that, and become who you are meant to be in this lifetime. Not just within your family system, but within the world.